Good morning, it's Friday. I'm a little bit excited about that. Got a few days off after this, which will be lovely. If you don't know me, hi, my name's Lisa. I am the Health and Confidence Coach, and today is my special topic day where I get to talk about common issues, which is what I'm doing at this common theme at the moment, common pain points that most of us experience, and hopefully that I can help you find some clever ways to get around it. Morning everybody who's just turning up, hello. If you don't know what I'm doing here today, I'm actually here talking about pain points, and today I'm covering sciatica specifically. And this is because, one, sciatica is something that I have suffered with massively in the past, and it is something that a lot of people suffer with, men or women, and it doesn't always mean that you have serious back issues. If you do a quick Google search, sciatica tells you that it's commonly associated with a bulging or slipped disc in the back, and that causes compression on the sciatic nerve, or it pinches the sciatic nerve, and it creates that dull, shooting, aching pain that goes from the lower of your back all the way down, typically one leg, and you can feel it all the way down to the calf and even down to the heel. But I wanted to do a chat about this today because although Google loves to tell us the most scariest things, that could be associated with, sciatica can also commonly be treated by doing a few exercises or just moving it, that range of motion. As I was just saying, that the sciatic nerve gets annoyed when it is compressed or pinched. It doesn't always have to mean that this has happened by something sinister like a slipped or bulged disc. Although if you are having a lot of pain, then I definitely would be checking it out with the doctor, because he's going to be the first person that's going to set you on your road to recovery, and he'll hook you up with a great physio or with whoever you need to be seeing at that moment in time. But here's what I'm here for. I'm here for people who are aching every day with stiffness and soreness that's related to the fact that you don't move. And you know, if you're being honest, if you are moving enough or not, or if you're testing your range of motion. And actually sciatica can come about just through lack of movement, because if you aren't moving, say that you're sitting down in that same position too long all the time, well, one, that's may annoy the sciatic nerve anyway, depending on where it's sitting at that point, and what it's brushing over and under. I'm going to say a quick good morning. I am a little bit closer to my screen, but I can't see you very well, so I'm going to say hi to Jamie, Sham and Tina. Thank you very much for being here, love you all. Well done. Today I'm doing a little piece about the sciatic nerve. I wanted to cover it, one, because it's my own, it's actually a pain that I know very, very well, and it's a common chat that happens with me and people that are not my clients, that have been watching this, that have been in touch, that have been saying, oh, I didn't even know that was a sciatic nerve pain. They've been doing my stretches and they've been feeling the benefits of it. And this is probably one of the most reported problems that I have with clients who are wanting to get fit and healthy, but are also put off by how bad their back is, or how bad these aches and pains are, so it makes you scared to move it, which ultimately almost makes it worse, because you're not helping it out in any way at all. So if you have had, if you do have serious back problems, or if you feel like there is something more sinister going on, please go and check this out. But go and check it out with your doctor. But if you know that your aches and pains are related to lack of movement, and you're sore and you're stiff, and you're probably not going to go to the doctors because it doesn't feel that serious, then check out these stretches with me and see how you feel afterwards, and let me know. So I want to cover sciatica. Sciatica is that pain that starts from your lower back, about here, and it goes all the way down the leg, and it can end up all the way in the heel as well. We don't tend to get it in both sides, but that can happen. And what's happening here is that we've got our nerves here. We've got a lot of nerves all the way up the back, and it's getting pinched or compressed, or something's moving over it, and it's just causing it to become a little bit inflamed and a little bit annoyed. So how we can help or manage this pain with stretches is by gently loosening up those areas, so that if that nerve is pinched or like slightly squeezed in somewhere, then it might have a chance to release itself. And also when you start helping out the sore areas, the sore inflamed areas around that nerve, that can also help that swelling reduce, which in turn helps your nerve not feel annoyed anymore. When we are experiencing sciatica, it can come across from a mild to a severe pain. Most people will try and take painkillers for this, but speaking from experience and speaking to a lot of people, normal painkillers don't cut it, and that's because it's a nerve damage. So if you are in that much pain, please go and see your doctor so that he can help you out. If you know that it's from the fact that you don't move around very much and you'd want to try out, you would try out anything right now, then you're going to try out these stretches with me, and you're going to see how you're going to feel about it when we finish. The reason why this one is so close to my heart is because it's something that took me years to get over, and it was the one thing that really kept me still. I couldn't move forwards because of this pain, and I almost felt like my life was over because I didn't know what to do about this pain, and the fact that it was associated with my back. And if you know me well, you'll know that I did have pretty intense back surgeries when I was younger. So it was only really through hydrotherapy and physiotherapy and gaining knowledge of why we do this, and then actually seeing that it does work, led me to be here. So I'm happy to be doing this chat today. So the sciatic nerve, what we're going to do first off is we're going to start by getting on the floor. Okay, what we're going to do, if you need to, you can sit against the wall here so that you've got a little bit of back support. But we're going to put our feet here on the floor. And then what I want you to do is just try to bring your toe to you. Yeah, just in case you can't see there. So only on one leg I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it all the way in, and I'm going to see how that's going to feel. And if this is on the annoyed sciatic nerve, you're going to feel that. That's going to be great. What I want you to do is try not to lift your knee up off the floor to make that flex back happen. Also notice that I've just put my hands behind me here, so if you want to do that for a little bit of a balance, you can. The second point is that if you are flexing and your knee is actually coming up off the floor, we're going to try and keep it down, and we're going to reduce that flex so that you're not ruining the stretch with the knee coming up. So we're going to keep the leg on the floor, we're going to flex that toe all the way to us, and then we're going to flex it all the way away again. And we're going to do that 5 times. Yes, we are. Nice. 3. Perfect. 4. Might do it again. 5. Love it. And we're going to change that over, and we're going to do the other one now. So see there, I don't know if you can see, but very slightly my knee was just trying to do a little bit of a cheat there, and it was trying to give itself a little bend to help that movement out. And it might help me make the movement, but it doesn't help me make the stretch. So we're going to do that one 5 times. Love it. What you can also do here, and I've done it in one of my videos before, you can have a little towel, and you can do this with a towel, and you can pull into it as well, and it just makes this one a little bit tougher, but you have more control over you being able to flex that foot into you. If you have quite bad sciatica, I would be very gentle with doing these, and then once you've done that one, what I would do is have a little lay down on the floor. Oh, I don't know if you're going to get me all in. Little wiggle, perfect. What I would do from here is leave one leg on the floor, and I'm going to bring one leg up. Now what I'm going to do here is a gentle circle with my knee, and I'm going to put my leg back down on the floor. I'm going to do that 5 times on one leg. I'm going to be really careful not to move the rest of my body around. Nothing else is moving, it's just that range of motion. And this is not typically a stretch that we would do for sciatica. This is actually one for the hip flexors, and you'll feel it in your hips as you bring that range of motion round. But the reason why I'm putting this in here is because those hips and those hip flexors, they're all pretty closely, they're all close together, and generally if you're feeling pain in one area, there's probably going to be soreness in other areas too, so it's good to treat the whole area rather than just what you think is the source of pain. So we've done that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my knees together, and I'm just going to, yeah, we've done this one before as well. We're going to use your bum cheeks to bring your legs open. You're going to feel that little stretch in the hips, and then you're going to use your bum to close it as well. We're going to do a few of these. Lovely one for the hips. 4, nice, 5, perfect. What we're going to do next is put our legs back down on the floor. We're going to pick one leg up, and if you had that towel again, you can use that to support your leg. I'm going to use my hands. Notice that my shoulders tried to come up off the floor there, so I'm just going to put them back into position, and then I'm going to go through some big circles. If you have quite intense sciatica, even holding this leg here might be enough for you. You might be like, oh God, I can really feel that, and that's enough. So that's cool. You're just going to stay there just for a little minute. If you can, you're going to put in some ankle rotations, and this is because it works your calves and your ankles, and you will feel it a little bit up on that hamstring as well. If you are doing those rotations, we're going to do 5 one way and 5 the other. If it is quite painful just holding it where it is, then you're just going to hold it where it is. And if you can, you're going to try and give me a cheeky little flex from the toes down to the face. That makes this very intense. That is the sciatic nerve that we're stretching there. You do feel that. That's okay. We're going to grin and bear it for a few seconds. I would generally like to hold this for maybe 30 seconds. Whilst you're pointing your toe down to your face. Here's some common things that I hear whilst we're stretching. I'm just going to change legs. So whilst we're stretching our little hammies, here's some common things that I hear or see when we're doing these. I see people that like to bring their upper body into it, and that's not really helping out this stretch here. If you do it yourself, you already feel that actually that brings a lot of tension up here rather than a nice stretch up this straight leg. So that's why we always put our shoulders on the floor. What's the other thing that I see? People that love to bend their leg, and I know that sometimes there is a lot of tightness there, so you might not be able to straighten your leg out much more than this, but if your leg is as straight as it can be, then you will be feeling it all the way down the legs, exactly where we're supposed to be. It doesn't matter if your leg doesn't go fully straight. What matters is that big stretch that you get all the way down the back of the leg, and then you're going to try and point that toe down to your face. We do that, and when you do that, you will notice the intenseness that brings, and that's because we are stretching out that little that big hamstring there. I'm going to point that toe down to our face. Perfect. Well done. Lovely. And we're going to hold that there for a few seconds. Then from there, here's another one that I like to do, and again this one isn't typically for sciatica. This is again another hip stretch, but it really helps out the lower back, the bum and the hips, which is again all surrounding or around that sciatic nerve. So what I'm going to do here is get myself into a tabletop. I'm just going to bring one knee up, I'm going to stick one foot out, and then I'm going to use my palms to push me down on top of that leg. Love it. Going to feel a nice stretch around the bum and in the hips. Perfect. We're going to give our bum a little squeeze. Nice. And so again, you might not typically feel this as a sciatic stretch. It's not really, but it is covering the areas where the sciatic nerve gets inflamed. And it's always best to treat all the areas, then focus on one spot that might not be causing the issue. So we're going to bring that up, we're going to change it over, and we're going to do that again. Oh, nice. Good little stretch. Sometimes sciatica can be quite intense, that you don't want to get on the floor to put your leg up in the air. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a neat little trick that I used to do, because that used to be me actually, and the reason why I wouldn't do those hamstring stretches is because I hated it. I hated getting on the floor and putting my leg up in the air. I remember having a conversation with my nan once. I wasn't doing my stretches, and she asked me how I thought I was ever going to get rid of my walking stick in my wheelchair if I wasn't prepared to do if I wasn't going to put the effort in and get through the pain of it. And that chat was a little bit blunt, my nanny is, but it did the trick. I did it, and I did what I could when I could, a lot, and well, here I am today, and I haven't seen a walking stick in years. Good. So sometimes the sciatic nerve can be feeling super painful, and there's no way that you want to get down on the floor and stick your leg up in the air. So you can start this quite gently, and you can just start with giving yourself a nice setup with some good heels, a little engaged bum, engaged core, chest up, shoulders back, but we're always going to make sure that rib cage is over the belly button. And then from there I'm going to stick my bum out to bend over. I'm going to keep my chest up to the sky. I'm going to try to focus pushing my heels into the floor here. I'm just going to reach down as much as I can. This brings on the same stretch, not as intense, but you will feel that stretch, especially if you are annoyed. And you're going to start to do very gentle bounces here, and that's just going to help out everything up here. Very gentle. Notice that I'm not moving much at all. From here I'm just going to try to see if I can get any more depth down there. And again, we were having that chat about the legs. It's good to have them straight. We don't want them massively locked. You can have a tiny bend in them, but if they're too bent, you're not going to feel that good stretch. So make sure that you are feeling it. Perfect. And then I would have a little reach down and see. This is actually a great way to test. When I was first doing this, there was no way that I could get over more than this without feeling super tight and that I wasn't going to go down anymore. And now I can actually, I made it a thing to be able to touch the floor. But if you do this stretches and you cannot touch the floor, make it a thing to be able to see a difference in your depth level within a few weeks, and you will start to see it. Now, if you were doing that standing one, you can also actually be quite clever about this and widen your legs and go down again, and then you can head over to one leg, and you're going to feel that this now changes the stretch from the back of the leg to just up the side. So again, this is a great one to be doing, especially if you don't want to get down on the floor to do the stretch. And I would again do those gentle little pulses and then a little reach down, and you can rinse and repeat that one as much as you want to until you feel that good relief there. I had one more for you here. I'm going to have to see if this is going to work. Perfect. So sometimes what would happen is I couldn't be bothered to get down on the floor, and I was just I had to do a lot of recovery work, okay, and these hamstrings, they were always in there. It was one of the things that I battled with the most. So this was also another way for me to get around it, especially when I was at work. I used to have a receptionist job, so I'd be sitting down all day anyway, and I had to do my hamstring stretches if I wanted to get better. And this was one of the ways that I could do it. So I would go like literally into the back room, into the kitchen, and I'd put my foot up against the wall like this, and you actually feel that stretch there already, and you notice that my leg has to be straight. Then what I can do is I can start to do that same thing where I can start to bring my toe off the wall and start flexing it to my body, and I'm going to feel that good stretch there as well. And then the higher you go, the more stretch you are going to get in there. But again, it doesn't matter even if you don't get it to the wall and you just did a stretch up here, you're also going to feel that in your hamstrings, and it's a great relief for the sciatic nerve. The reason why I really wanted to cover this today is because I think a lot of people associate sciatica with a seriousness, like that it means surgery or something major has gone wrong. And whilst that may be the case, in my experience of training people and with myself, sciatica is actually down to, again, a loss of range of movement, and soreness and stiffness is resulting in the fact that if you're sitting down too much or not moving too much, you're shortening one set of muscle groups. As I was telling you earlier in the week, the hip flexors. We have front and back suspenders. So if we're always sat over, or we're always in this kind of position, our front flexors, they're going to come very short because we're never giving them the opportunity to get straight. And then these back suspenders, well, they're always going to be longer because we're moving that just a tiny bit more, and that's where the imbalance comes, and then all the inflammation and the swelling, which in turn annoys the sciatic nerve. And again, this is something that I see in everybody. I see it in men and women, I see it in pregnant women, I see it in men that have heavy loading jobs, I see it in people that sit at their desks all day. So it's not uncommon. And if you're sitting there and you think that this is you and you don't move much, well, please just give some of them a go and see if you can do yourself and your back a massive favour. Just having a little stroll back over here to say good morning to everyone that managed to come on. Oh well, thank you so much, Jamie. You've just made my day. Jamie's just said that these are great sessions and you're learning lots. I'm really, really pleased that you are. I've actually really enjoyed coming on here and doing the series. It was something that wasn't supposed to go on so long, but I am actually really enjoying it, and the chats that I'm having with people that are actually making these little changes and the effects that it's having on them is amazing. So thank you very much for doing it and for seeing yourself the benefits. Good morning, yes, and good morning. Hey, people who are watching, if you do find any of my stuff useful, if you do find that you learn a lot, please do give me a little share, because the chances are, if you found it useful, that probably even the person that usually sits next to you in the office would find this useful, but they don't know about it. So put that little share button on so more people can know. Perfect. Does anyone have any questions for me today? It is Friday. I know that some of you do watch a little bit later because I'm such an early morning bunny. So if you are watching this later, feel free to comment with your questions, or even get in touch if you want to send me a little message. I'm always here. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out of your Fridays to come and see my little chat about sciatica and what we can do about it. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you find it useful. Please tell me if you are struggling with any aches and pains. Chances are I might know what we can do about it, and I might be able to cover it and help a lot of other people out that may be experiencing the same problems as you. So, have an amazing weekend, and I'm sure I'll see you all on Monday. Thanks again. Bye.